Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry, a fan channel where everything Dragalia Lust can be found. This video is going to be all about the Onslaught event happening in Dragalia Lust right now. Of course, I'm talking about a Dazzling Defense, which stars none other than Humanoid Jupiter as an attorney in a courtroom drama who is trying to defend the daughter of the late mayor of the town of Littleton. In this town, a new prosecutor has showed up, become the de facto leader, ousted and offed her father, and he has to clear her name of a crime she didn't commit so she can return to leading this town. So it's an interesting, fun little short story, as is the case with most Onslaught and defensive battle events. Not a whole lot of depth, not a whole lot of lore to really get into for today, but I wanted to make this video just to talk about the event as I do with all new events, and also to ponder and wonder about the future of these types of events as a whole, since we have been told that after the month of November, we should expect more reruns when it comes to Onslaught and defensive battle events, and less original content. So we'll get into that, we'll get into the story for the event, and while we do, I'm going to share some gameplay footage from the event itself. I have my clear of All Out Assault on the EX difficulty coming up, and then I'll close things out with my clear of Astral Tartarus, who makes his debut with this event. Of course, as is always the case, Onslaught events are focused on battles where you're shapeshifted into a dragon form. That's kind of the central gimmick of the event, but there's not really a whole lot to expand on that basic concept in this event, nor really has there been in any past Onslaught event. I think the most original thing we got way back in the day was the introduction of the Astral series with these, and with this one, we mark the close of the Astral Agito since now we have Tartarus. So yeah, not a whole lot from a gameplay standpoint, which I guess we can start with what I want from these types of events in the future. Honestly, I am really fine with moving toward reruns for these, just because as cute and fun as the short stories can be, the gameplay on these, it does feel like filler at this point. There have been a few exceptions. There's some defensive battle events where we got brand new maps. Those were pretty great. And yes, the Astral battles are kind of fun. Maybe if they amped up the difficulty on those, or maybe multiple Astral enemies at once, something like that, it could be a nice little twist. But all in all, it just really does feel like more of the same every time. It's not to say the stories are bad or anything like that, but compared to our end-of-month events that have an original score, that have, hopefully, in most cases, original bosses, although those do reuse past bosses at times, but generally the production quality is a little bit higher. So I don't mind that these are going away, that we're going to get more reruns. It also presents an opportunity for players who missed out on them in the past to get to experience some of the stories, because there really are some cute and fun ones in there, and some of them do have lore implications. I'm thinking about the one with Irene and Feeny, for example, that was kind of a nice one in that spirit. But yeah, I think going forward, not sure if we're going to get a new one of these in December or January, but pretty soon I think we're going to start having these return rather than be original. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. I would rather the time be spent on our marquee events than go into these in the future. And I don't really mind seeing some of these come back in much the same way that we've had event reruns every month for the past several months. So as for the thoughts on the story, I thought it was nice to get a story to accompany Humanoid Jupiter. Of course, him being on a banner is already enough of a draw for some players who really like his design. I like his design as well. I think it fits his personality super well. But I really didn't need much more beyond that, and I wouldn't say the story necessarily developed his character very much. We found out about him having an ancestral bond with the founders of this town of Littleton back from when he was pact bound to Alberius. He gave the leaders of this town a special relic that they could use to call upon him in a time of need, and the prosecutor that comes in wants dragon blood as the key to unlock the chest containing this relic, thinking the relic will bring him power and prosperity, when in fact it's just a power upgrade for High Jupiter, or Jupiter I should say, into a High Jupiter form, and one that just calls him to come to the village to help out. There's a fun little dynamic between him and the descendant that he's friends with, or the descendant of the person he was friends with, called Aerith, and he makes friends with her. She has a fun personality, kind of doubting Jupiter as an attorney. She's very vocal about her emotions toward Jupiter and just everything going on, and the way she chastises the prosecutors coming to town. I think that was kind of cute. There's also some rappers, or I should say some guards that rap. It's another instance where these events use the time to kind of make fun of what happened with the Diurnal Empire and what's happening with the foot soldiers. We've gotten a lot of events that explore space like that at this point. So it sort of feels like more of the same. You know, the prince gets a letter, he shows up, of course he has to go help, but Jupiter also persuades him because he's familiar with the village. There really wasn't a whole lot to it. I'd be curious to know what Jupiter fans think of this event, because this may be the one and only event. For me personally, I liked Humanoid Mercury's event a little bit more, Elementary Escapades. I just thought the fact that it was willing to break the fourth wall and really just dive into some of the wackiness that the concept for that event entailed was a little more fun for me. I'm also not super familiar with Ace Attorney or any other big courtroom series, so I'd also be curious if you are more familiar with those, are there any references that I missed? Anyway though, that's pretty much all I have to say on Dazzling Defense, so I hope you enjoyed this video and the event. That is going to do it for today, everyone, so thank you as always for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.